Hi everyone, this is Yana, and today I have a very feminine and I guess a little bit of a Mother Day card tutorial for you. So for this project, I decided to use the new Simon Says Stamp and Mama Elephant flower stamps and dies, and I absolutely adore them. I think they're just gorgeous and they're perfect for spring cards, for feminine cards, or for like a Mother's Day card. So I have already pre-cut and pre-stamped several flowers and several leaves. I use the Color Box Pigment Frost White ink from Clear Snap, and I stamp the images, flowers and leaves onto the Simon Says Stamp Doll Pink cardstock. I then use the matching dies and cut the elements out that you see here on my craft sheet. Now I have this little cheat sheet that I usually prepare for myself when I'm working on stamped cards. So I usually take a little piece of paper and I just stamp the design that I have in my head. I find that it helps to create the card and it helps you actually to recreate multiple cards, and it just sort of guides you as you create your stamping. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be stamping flowers using some black ink from Tsukineko, and this is just some regular pigment ink that I very much like to use for cards like this. I've started with this larger flower from the Simon Says stamp, and I'm simply following my little cheat sheet that I have here at the top of the screen. Sorry you guys can't see it, but I'm also using it a little bit as a mask. So I'm following my cheat sheet and I'm simply stamping the flowers. Now I'm not worried about overlapping the flowers at all. I'm not using any masking paper, any masking techniques or anything like that, except for that top portion of my card where I'm hiding the fold and making sure I'm not stamping any of the flowers on the back side of my card. But other than that, I am not using any masking techniques. So as you can see here, I'm overlapping my flowers and I'm not being worried about stamping these images on top of each other and making them overlap at all. The reason I'm not worried about this is because I have these die cut flowers that I will be putting on top of the several flowers that I will have stamped, and these will serve as a mask in the end result, and I'm hoping they will create some nice effect and some nice wow background. And so I'm alternating the different stamps, and as you can see here, I've started with the larger flower, and then I'm filling in the blanks with the medium-sized flower, and then with the smaller flower as well. And I only have a couple of spots left here at the bottom. Now, as I filled in the entire background, as I've followed the entire idea of my card, I'm now using the sentiment, Hello Beautiful, and I think it's just adorable. The handwriting there is just great. So I'm using that sentiment and the exact same ink to stamp the sentiment in the middle part of my card. Now, if you noticed, my cheat sheet had a little bit of green ink on it. And that happened by accident, actually. So I grabbed that little piece of paper, and it already had that green ink on it. And when I finished doing my cheat stamping, I thought, hey, that green ink looked pretty nice there. So I thought I needed to add a little bit of that green to my card design. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually trying to pick up to test the green colors that I have and find the best one that matches that little green puddle there that I had on my cheat sheet, because I have no idea which green ink I used to create that puddle because it was already there when I started working. So here I'm mixing just two different colors of spray inks, and the first one was from Clear Snap. These are pretty new inks and you should be able to find them no problem. But the second one is from Hampton Art, and I think they're discontinued, so you might have a little problem finding that particular color. But you can use any kind of green ink or any kind of green spray ink. It doesn't have to be these colors. So what I did here, I used a clear block and I added a little drop of the two colors and some water. And I used my paintbrush and I gently mixed the colors together. I was trying to avoid adding too much water because the paper that I'm using is just some regular white cardstock. This is not watercolor paper, so it's not designed to absorb water. And I didn't want to put too much water on the paper so that the color won't soak into the inside of the card. So I was very careful, and I was trying to be very gentle with the amount of water that I was adding. Now, as I added that color, I decided I needed something, some more green color, maybe a different shade of green. So I used this pigment, and it's from a French company, but as far as I know, ClearSnap distributes this pigment in the United States. So if you like it, you might be able to find it in places where ClearSnap is sold. So once again, I added a little bit of that green pigment to my clear block, and I'm simply picking up some color with my paintbrush and adding it to my stamp design. Now notice that I'm not adding the green to the leaves. You know, you would expect the leaves to be green, but I want my card to be a little bit more unexpected. So I'm adding green just to various portions, various areas of my card, and I'm not adding them to the leaves intentionally. In fact, I'm just adding little splotches, I guess, here and there, and trying to make it a little bit more unexpected, you know, and a little bit more creative. Now, once I've finished adding the green color, I'm using just foam, just some foam dimensional adhesive. This one is from Dovecraft, but you can use any kind of dimensional adhesive for this. And I'm adding a little squares of that adhesive to the back of my die cut flowers. Now, I wanted to create dimension on my card. Not too much dimension, but just a little bit. And, you know, maybe drop a little shadow using this way. So I'm using these foam squares to adhere my flowers. And I didn't use these foam squares for all of the flowers, just for a couple, and then I used the regular adhesive for the rest of the flowers. Now, I had another idea in mind. I wanted to stamp the exact same design onto a darker cardstock. So here I have some brown cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, and I've stamped the exact same design using white pigment ink from ClearSnap. Turned out pretty great. I really like that contrast that I had there. So I decided to once again stamp and die cut the flowers and recreate the same pattern on my card. Now to color my flowers and to color my card, I decided to go with some pigment ink this time, and I'm using a little dauber from ClearSnap, and I'm adding some colors of green ink here and there. Now, I should have done this before I adhered my flowers because it kind of makes it harder to get into these little areas with the dauber, but since I had these pink flowers already adhered, I decided that I kind of have to work my way in and add the color that way. And that pretty much finished my card for today. So as you can see here, I was able to create a stamped and masked background without doing any actual traditional masking at all. So this is all for today, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that you learned something new and that you will be able to try this technique in your cards. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're looking for a supply list, you can find it at the bottom in my video, in the description section, or on my blog, so be sure to check that out. And if you like this video, please click like, leave me a comment, and please share it with your crafty friends. Thank you so much.